Hi, welcome back to the channel. This is the third part of a series of poems about autism. I hope you can hear me okay. It's been raining pretty much all day, all week really. So I'm going to do what I did the last two times. If this is the first video you're seeing, you might want to go back and watch them in sequence, because I do some explaining along the way, like why I do this. So I'm not going to repeat that in this video. So we'll start with the first poem. It's about triggers. I think it's really important to know your triggers, whether you're autistic or not, really. But it has since people on the spectrum are prone to, since people on the spectrum need to manage their energy much more closely than neurotypical people, they need to they need to know about their triggers. So obviously the poem is called Triggers. My silent companions, thoughts of you wake sleeping demons. Memories creep from quiet corners of the mind. Can of worms, here we go. The past attempting to shatter the present. In the eyes of the new lurk the ghosts of old. Kindness is the fuse, visceral peril inflicted through care. Understanding is the carrot forever dangling in the paradox of attraction and denial. Resilience is born of survival. Healing isn't linear. As I said, I think this doesn't only apply to autistic people. I think it goes back to what I mentioned in one of the Wisdom Nugget videos, is that you seem to, each human being seems to move on a certain on a sort of spiral, regarding their just life experience and what they're supposed to learn, and you tend to revisit the same sort of tropes, in your life, but with each turn of the spiral you move, quote unquote, up a little, so you're never on the same level. It's hopefully you learned something the last time around, and now you can look at the, once come full circle again, you can sort of look at the delta that has been created, i.e. the distance, the vertical distance from the last circle to the circle you just finished. So healing also isn't linear. I've been debating with myself if I should read this next poem. If you are easily triggered by graphic language, graphic accounts, then skip forward to the next poem. There's timestamps in the description box, and you should be able to skip ahead easily. I don't want to sweep this under the carpet, and I think no one should. I believe that in the end, or ultimately, ultimately is a great word. I think ultimately pain and joy are sort of equally distributed among the population. So if you think about it, for example, to a movie star, like one of those Hollywood stars, the fact that they might get a bad critique for the last movie that they made, could be devastating. So to them, to such a person, it will create the same level of pain to them, in their minds, than some other event does to some other person. So what I'm trying to say is that I appreciate that, I'm not trying to create a sort of hierarchy of experiences, I'm just trying to acknowledge things, but to myself, really. I mean, so that there can be development in the spiral I'm on, So this poem is called Life's Details. Heading north from Delhi, people defecating in the streets, a leopard crossing, no legs, trunk sat on a cart of wood with wheels, a muezzin recording, hallucinating black spiders, out of body while he's at it, beard stubs in a dirty sink, fetus in a kidney dish, baby shower next door, man chewing his arm in the psych ward, father telling me all in his delirium, what is real, what is a lie, and you call me naive. Fuck you. I'm not going to comment on this. The next one is sort of similar to the first one, to the trigger topic, but it speaks to things that are more unconscious. So it speaks to experiences that are even more direct. You know, it's not like when you're on the spectrum, it's not like your world is fully mapped out and you know exactly, you know, all the triggers and you can navigate seamlessly. You know, there's a lot of, like, it's almost like a minefield, you know, and there's a lot of things that can have a visceral sort of effect in terms of what I'm really trying to describe is the feeling of brain freeze. So there are moments in your day where you are confronted with something, can be anything, you know, and it makes your brain freeze, and it makes your body freeze as well. So it's that I speak to that type of experience. The poem is called Fault Lines. A full trash bag, perfume in the hallway, salami breath in the elevator, the leather in Dad's car. You shout my name, stop me in my tracks, I freeze, you move on. So it's these very sort of mundane happenings, you know, whether they be smell. A lot of them are smells or sounds also, that can make you freeze, really. The next one is another classic. I mean, a classic in terms of it's being described in literature about ASD people. It's the aspect of masking that people on the spectrum tend to, you know, because they try to fit in, they will emulate either facial expressions or mannerisms, or just they try to adhere to what they understand to be societal, you know, confines or rules and regulations, and just that, well, they try really hard to be normal, you know. So I mean, and I don't mean normal, I don't mean that in a pathologizing way. I'm just saying that there's a neurotypical world that follows their rules, their set of rules, and then there's apparently the ASD community to whom these rules don't apply, but still we have to try to sort of fit in, to sort of gel, you know, with the larger society. So it speaks to what's called masking, and it's called masking. And I'm referencing Anthony Hopkins, who is the actor who is on the spectrum as well. Anthony is a good example. His eyes rarely smile, only when he's safe. His mouth usually does. He'd rather not, though. Yet he must. Hence the strain. That's his role. You couldn't handle his fragility. You couldn't handle his energy. You couldn't handle his compassion. All he lets you see is his genius. That is his mask. That is his safeguard. You see that a lot, his masking mannerism. You see that a lot in interviews that he gives, especially in the beginning of an interview when he doesn't feel safe yet, when when rapport hasn't been established yet. So it's like this, it's like your eyes stay the same, but you put on a face because you want to be friendly. The next one is called Unconditional Love, and I want to try to sort of de-romanticize unconditional love, because in my understanding, unconditional love is almost like it's actually a very basic and very natural thing, and I'm trying to describe it. I'm trying to describe it in sort of scientific terms, if you will. It's called unconditional love, obviously. Frequency band, basic vibration, ordering principle of this dimension. Strings, particles, molecules must comply or disintegrate, like soldiers marching in lockstep in the military parade of creation. Evil, an ingredient at best, damned to recede into the primordial soup of potentiality. Life goes on, always. It's probably an invitation as well to not take ourselves so seriously, because we are, in terms of evolution, we're just a fart in the wind, really, nevertheless beautiful, I guess, but it's just, life always goes on, I think. Well, of course it depends on how you define life, but the next poem speaks to finding comfort in finding comfort and guidance really in nature, and by extension I think it speaks to perceptivity again. It's about a raven, and it's something that really happened to me when I sort of the last time I was hospitalized and sort of got out of hospital, and started the whole reintegration spiel, and when I would go on walks, there would always be this raven flying with me and my dog. When we'd go on walks together, he would fly with us. He would perch every once in a while in a tree, and then you would fly another couple of feet for wait for us to catch up, and so on and so on and so forth. And there was a continuity in that experience, and it was really helpful. So the poem is called Raven. Black as midnight, you shadow me by day, flutter your wings, inkling of better times yet to come. Flawless guide, austere presence, symbol of trials faced, of my resilience, of my worth, lost and found. The next and last one is a description of things and mannerisms, maybe, or sorry, that noise is driving me nuts. Of things that you do that give you comfort, calm you down. You know? I don't think well, in literature a lot of times they describe people on the spectrum putting things in order, you know, that this gives them, or doing the same thing, like having rituals. It's about having rituals, I guess. Rituals is a good description. But I call the poem Habitat because it's an attempt to, like with the rituals, I mean, the good thing about rituals is you can sort of take them with you, well, not all of them, but some of them, wherever you go, and so it's your comfort zone, really, you know, that you can sort of build for yourself. And some of it might be weird, but nevertheless, it works. Head underwater, enjoying the silence. Balaclava in summer. Delta at 147 hertz. The same dish 3 weeks in a row. Peeling off price tags on books. Getting a tattoo. My safeguard, my second skin. Watching seeds grow hours on end. Blanket around my waist, layer of protection. Blinds down, hiding away, falling asleep, holding a crystal. Sleeping in my clothes, binging on solitude. Whatever is left of identity, sustained. Hiding away, ignoring the doorbell, ignoring your calls, nobody's home. Captain America on my kitchen table, you are my comfort. I think this is especially important for parents with children on the spectrum, is to realize that their peculiarities and quirks, and their favorite items, I guess, they are non-negotiable. They should be able to just have them and do them, because it's their way of self-regulating, really. And if the parents fail to see that, and if the parents sort of force the child to conform because they maybe are embarrassed, they will experience the fallout, because the child is much more prone to having shutdowns and meltdowns. Right, and now we are approaching a noise level that is not sustainable, so we'll have to cut this session short at this point. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you so much for your patience. Sorry about my slow speaking. It's just what it is at this point. So we get better. I'll see you soon. Bye.